What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Ask Mevo Anything. My name is Will, and I am joined today by Joseph. What is up, man?
Hey, Will, how's it going? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Not much, not much. I'm waiting for stream chat to come in. And is there really no action going on right now?
Not yet. Doesn't look
Um,
like.
you guys, if you're new to the show, or if you just need a reminder, this is Ask Me About Anything, which means you can ask us any question that you have about Mevo or live streaming in general. I think we can answer all sorts of questions, even audio questions. Now that we've got Joseph here, so yeah, just ask us whatever's on your mind, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as we can in the hour that we have. So while we're waiting for more people to join in, let's first go over kind of our schedule right now. So let me just pull that up right here. Uh, okay.
Trying to find it.
Yeah. All right, I got it.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We've got our Tuesday show, which is Ask Me About Anything, what you're watching right now, which means you can ask us any question that you have, whether it is Mevo live streaming or anything really technical. We can certainly try our best to answer that. And of course, if you're doing a production and you want a little bit of advice, we'll certainly help with that as well. And then we've got our Thursday show, which is Mevo Live, where we kind of try and do more of a deep dive on certain topics to kind of just walk you through different things and show you demos and all that stuff. So I do encourage everybody to join both shows, but if you can't make the live show, you can definitely check out the shows on YouTube right after they end. You can see the entire Mevo Live catalog there. And so it's a good way if you're looking for one specific answer to just kind of go through those videos. And we are live every week, Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Now, I do try and get as many people as possible to switch over to Twitch or YouTube because it just looks so much better there than it does on Facebook. So that's what we're working with. Let's talk about our setups right now because we're always changing. There's definitely a different mic here, as you can see. So let's get into it. For my setup, I'm using a Mevo Start, which is connected via the new wired webcam, so 1080p video, which is very, very nice. And then for audio, I'm using the Encore 300, and this is a blue mic. And it's going into a Go XLR Mini, and then from the Go XLR Mini, directly into my computer via USB. So I think it's kind of a improvement, I think, over the Bluebird, uh, at least in my apartment. So we'll see. What are you using?
Yeah. So I am actually still using well, not the Bluebird, but I'm using the baby bottle from Blue, which is
Mm,
this condenser right here. I too have an Encore that I tried and I set up a little bit. I actually liked for my room the baby bottle a little bit better. And that baby bottle is then running into a DBX compressor, and that also has a gate on it. So you'll notice that if I stop talking, all the background noise should cut out, and the gate is taking care of that. That is then being rerouted into a Behringer analog mixer. So from here, I have some options where I can throw in some effects, like you should be hearing a little bit of reverb right now, probably.
yep.
So things like that. I can affect my EQ. So we could talk about EQs today, especially if we're talking audio. How great it is to have an EQ in your chain and what you could do with it and how it helps you. Um, so that's going through there. Then that is then being routed to another headphone amp, which I think I can actually show you now. Let's uh let's see if I can pull it up. It's this one.
Nice. Right.
Yeah. Yep. So simple one, very common. It's just a Behringer headphone amp. Now the reason why I'm using that is because being that we're with Mevo, we have lots of cameras that we use. So I actually have this headphone amp being routed to three different Mevo cameras. So if I did want to switch my camera up, I absolutely could. Or if something happened with this one, I have a backup. It also gives me an out to any other source that I might want. So if I want to reroute the signal I'm using for the show back into, let's say, my computer, and I want to record it
Mm.
as a separate audio track, I can do that as well. So it gives you a lot of different options when you go that route. Now, this is stuff that you can absolutely do internally, kind of like how Will has, right? You're using the Go XLR. You have a lot of these options as software. I'm just doing the same thing with hardware. And then that, of course, is going 3.5 millimeter into the Mevo Start, which is right here. And this one's actually upside down. I actually have this one in flip mode. And I'm
Nice.
at my full frame 1080. And I'm going wireless to my computer. I'm using the wireless webcam because that seems to be what works best for me on my setup.
Now I'm curious why is it flipped? Just to get a better angle?
Yeah, so I actually uh as you can imagine, I have a lot going on right here. So I actually have two speakers over here, two monitors, big speakers, and I just don't have
Mhm.
room for the stand. So what I'm actually using is the table stand, the Mevo table stand, because that one has
Right.
that movable arm on it. So I'm able to kind of maneuver it to a spot where I have the camera in the position I like it, but it's coming from the top down. So I had to flip it. Um, because
Nice.
it's actually standing on top of a speaker. It's pretty it looks terrible from my end, but it's giving me the angle I want, so that's all that matters. As long as it looks good on
Yeah.
this end. That's what I'm worried about.
For a little while, I was doing a Mevo that was going over my monitor, just so like it would just be like 2 inches below the top of the monitor, and it was upside down. And I thought that was actually really nice. That's like a really big advantage of the table stand is that you can just get these weird setup angles that fit your setup better.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely, and having it right in front of the monitor, I did actually have that if you look at a couple of shows ago where it was more in front of me. The reason why I didn't like that
Mhm.
though is because I couldn't really it was just right in front of my monitor, right? So like I have a big
Yeah.
monitor here and I have another one over here, so I figured I'll stick this one right in the middle, kind of like how Joe has. So for those who watch the show a lot, you see Joe Mevo's setup. His setup is real nice. It's real tight. The monitors are close together, the Mevo in the middle, um, which is kind of what I'm going for as well.
Yeah, I found in my setup that it's almost impossible to not be in front of a monitor. Like, just so many
Yeah.
monitors, man. You can't avoid it. So, cool, 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 cool.
All right.
Looks like we're starting to get some chat going on, which is great. What is up, everyone? Let's see. Dave, what's up? Good to see you. Oh,
Hey,
there we
Dave.
go.
Thanks for joining.
Let's see. First question, asking you anything. Yeah, cool. Uh, I would love to know the resource for those awesome purple lights in your background. So what are you using for lighting right now?
So I actually have a little bit going on. I have a Philips Hue lighting strip that's actually on my ceiling, which is coming across the top
Mhm.
of me up here. That's actually shining a cooler temperature light to kind of illuminate my background a little bit. Then on the behind my amp there and behind on the wall over there, I have separate light bulbs that are Fiat light bulbs. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with those. They're a little like the cheaper Hue, I guess, but they have a
Yeah.
great app and you can group them together. So you can buy a bunch of them and really set up like your own scene. So that's what's lighting up those. And then in my overheads, I actually have um, Fiat bulbs as well. So those are shining purple. So really, I have four purple bulbs kind of floating around behind me, and then one main light going across the top. And then, of course, the light that's facing me is the Lytra Glow. So I have a couple of Lytra Glows set up on my monitors, and that's what's giving me my face light right here. You can see the shadow.
Right.
That's what's giving me my face light, my eye light. So what's cool about that is it does give me a nice separation of my foreground and background. So you have a clear picture of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
How about you?
we obviously had a huge talk about lighting before the show started, and we were just setting up different kinds of background lighting. We were setting up different kinds of foreground lighting, and the great thing about these lighter glows, especially if you have these colored lights behind you, is they're not so strong that they're gonna completely blow out your colors behind you. Like you're not gonna lose that rich RGB lighting that you've got and spent so much money on.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. Yeah, so for my setup, I've obviously got the two Lytra glows right in front of me, which is really nice. I've got one of them is connected directly to my computer, and another is just plugged directly into the wall, so I can have the variation. And yeah, gotta love Brooklyn.
It's all right.
And
Not that bad.
yeah, nice. That's good. That's the Encore doing its job, I guess, or the Go XLR maybe. And then for the background lights, I have a Hugo bulb over there, and that's this blue light, and then this other blue light. I'm not sure the exact brand, but it's one of those long, God, what is it called? The kind of
Like the LED strip?
tube. No, it's like a tube.
Oh,
But I'm blanking. It's a very generic brand, so it's not like something specific that I know offhand. But it's basically a tube light that's about a foot. That can be multiple colors. So we moved around a lot, from purple to blue to a little bit of red and all that stuff, and it seemed like this kind of gave us the best lighting. So this is what we stuck with. Cool.
yeah, and to even give you, just a quick idea of what the Lytras are doing, let
Yeah.
me go and turn those off real quick. So, those are 2 of them. I actually have 3 set up, so I still have the one over here, but I just turned those other
Hmm.
2 off, and now I just basically shadow over, right? So,
Yes.
just having
Dramatic.
those, yeah, and now you have a significant improvement in the lighting, and give the Mevo a second to adjust too, because I think I have the auto metering on as well. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, what a big difference, right?
Yep, these electric glows have been really, really cool. I'm curious if anybody in chat got a chance to pick one up, whether it is on pre-order or you already have it. We definitely would love to know if you're using a glow right now,
Yeah, absolutely.
or it's on its way. Yeah,
And if you do get it, or when you do get it, post, if you're not part of our Facebook group, post pictures up in there. Show us how you're using it. Show us your setups. We want to see what, how people are using their Mevos. I know a lot of our users are using the Mevos for, like, houses of worship or sports. But I think, the lost usage is kind of how we use it, right? Is when you're using it for like a stream and
right.
using it as like a creator or Twitch stream or gaming or whatever. I'd like to see those setups too, because I'm curious to see how you manage your lighting in whatever room you're in, right? Because it's
Yeah,
obviously always gonna be different.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and also, you obviously tag us, but you can also do a hashtag find your light, and you might have a chance for Logitech to kind of repost your image so you can get some cool social clout there.
Get some exposure, no pun intended.
Yeah,
We're
nice.
talking
Actually, that
lights.
that should be the tagline right there.
That
I like that a lot.
should be the tagline.
Um, yeah. Let's see. Chip Conrad says, internet connection question. If entering a situation with spotty, if any, Wi Fi, is there a suggested choice of hotspot ideas? I'm getting a new multicam Mevo setup, but expect to be in situations without Wi Fi. So, hotspot suggestions would be groovy. So yeah, I would say the very first thing is obviously you can use the Mevos itself. Like you can use the Mevos in AP mode, which means that one of the Mevos will turn into a hotspot. And the other Mevos in your phone or tablet can join that Mevo's hotspot. Then you can stream directly from your phone or tablet. Um, so that's probably your best bet if you're, trying to get really far um, range. You could obviously use a home Wi-Fi router, but what you need to realize is that the stream is coming from the multicam app, so having a cellular hotspot is kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, so keep in mind too, when you're using the hotspot or the AP mode on the Mevos, you're using the phone's LTE data, right? So you're not using, like a hotspot plan data. So for example, if you were to get like a jetpack or one of the separate mobile hotspots, whatever they call them now, you're buying a plan for that. Maybe you get 5 gigs for whatever money a month or something like that. But when you're using the AP mode with the Mevo and multicam, you're using the phone's data, which is likely unlimited if it's a 4G or 5G plan at this point. Um,
Right.
so, or you have enough if you have a family plan. But take a look at that too, because you want to make sure that you not have limitations as far as your data usage either. Um, but you get away with not doing unlimited if you have an unlimited plan on your phone, so you don't necessarily need that extra plan on a hotspot.
Yep.
Something to consider. Yeah.
100%. All right. E Huang says, "Hello, thanks for the pointer to wired webcam. Used it this past Sunday. Nice. Yeah, I've been
Awesome.
using it more myself. Now that it's 1080p, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. Definitely let us know how you use it too. If you're using, if you're when using wired webcam, are you using it just for like a conference? Are you doing a show with it? Are you hooking up audio into it? Are you using it routed with other cameras in type of a broadcast software like Streamlabs or something? Give us the details. Let us know how it went.
Yeah." Dave says, "I'm having issues with my Facebook live stream, quitting after it starts. I had to restart it several times." So, I think Joe was saying this weekend that Facebook was having some issues. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if all of those are okay now, but yeah, I mean, definitely give us a
yeah. Let
little
me
bit more
check.
information. Joseph's gonna check now to see if they're still having server issues, but I know that they were on Saturday or Sunday. So if you were trying to stream then, that could be why. And then
Yeah,
in terms of, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say it looks like it started on Saturday, um,
Mhm.
but it looks like reports have slowed down. So give it a shot today. Do a test stream. Let us know. I mean, we're streaming on Facebook right now, and it seems to be working.
Yeah,
Um, so I think it might have just been a bug in Facebook that they fixed over the weekend. It's funny because like a lot of our users are using their Mevos on the weekend, and then for some reason, when Facebook outages happen, they happen to happen on weekends. So it seems to be a common
yeah.
theme.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're still experiencing that, obviously you can open a ticket, but definitely let us know kind of more information about what's happening. Is the stream ending? Are you using multicam? Are you using the Logitech Mevo app? Yeah, just let us know, and maybe we can give you kind of a better answer for that one. Um, all right, you want to take this one?
Sure. So the question from Blake here on Facebook says, "When will we be able to stream vertical, which is considered a better result to view because people don't need to turn their phones?" So what you're talking about is your aspect ratio. So essentially, you could turn your Mevo if you really wanted to. It's not
Yeah.
going to turn the frame on the phone though. The Mevo is a 16:9 ratio, so it is that normal standard widescreen ratio. We don't have anything that's in 4.3 currently. However, if you are shooting in 16:9 and you want to do something for Instagram, just make sure that your whatever you're shooting is within the 4.3 frame. So we can give you an example of that. So Will, go to the full crop of the two shot on us. So if you look right here, this is a different aspect ratio for what you're seeing, but the image is still 16:9. We're just essentially just cropping out the sides. So if you
Mhm.
shoot using the Mevo and you want to shoot for Instagram or something like that, keep this in mind, and then this way you can edit it later, crop out the sides, and post. You won't be able to go direct into like something like Instagram for that type of view. But again, you could always turn your Mevo, but that's not going to turn your frame in the viewing app.
Right. Um, yeah, exactly. So yeah, right now you just can't do portrait with the Mevo. We've had a few people ask about that in the past, but unfortunately,
Mhm.
it's not available right now. 1080p now in wired webcam. Do I need a new driver? So the Mevo doesn't take any drivers. It's all UVC, so it's built into your computer. Um, but 1080p, you just need to update your firmware. Just be on the new version of the Mevo app. So just make sure you download that in the store. Um, cool.
Yeah, if it's Apple or Android, I think it's 3.0. I think the minimum with was it 3.0.2, 3.0.3. Not entirely sure, but whatever the latest one is going to have the build in it.
Yeah. Cool. So let me just all right. Let me scroll down. Russell Sullivan saying amazing setups. Thank you very much, Russell. What's up, man? Good to see you. Cool. What's up, Tribe of Benjamin? How's it going?
Tribe of Benjamin. That's Ben. That's right. Isn't that his Twitch account or something?
Ben Beckner.
Ben Beckner.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
Nice. We're moving everybody over, and I'm worried that I'm just gonna have to relearn everybody all over again. Because they're not keeping the same names. Let's see. B Huang says use the Mevo as a Zoom participant. Realized after I should have used our second Mevo as wired webcam for another view of the main speakers of the meeting.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's talking about
for sure.
the wired webcam. Yep.
It's a good way to use multiple Mevos for your Zoom calls for sure. Gordon, what is up? Like everybody's moving over to Twitch. I love it. Cool. Does it look a lot better? I'm curious. On Twitch, are we right in moving everybody over? Let's see. Richard Watts says, "Do you have a shotgun mic that you recommend to go on top of the Mevo Start? Either 3.5 or USB-C. What do you think, man?"
Well, it depends. Again, this is something that depends on your setup. So when you're talking shotgun mics, you're talking generally mics that are used to be out of frame overhead. I would go 3.5 if you can. A lot of shotgun mics need to be powered though, so they'll either have a battery literally in them, or they'll need phantom power, which the Mevo is not going to provide. So keep an eye on which mic you're going to buy. Also, you have to judge with shotguns. You have to judge your distance, right? So if you're doing a super wide frame, you're going to need a longer shotgun mic to get further distances above the frame of where you're trying to cut to. If you're doing something like we're doing, where it's just right over your head, you can probably get away with most any shotgun mic. I mean, Sennheiser makes great ones. It really depends on what you're trying to do, because the price range on shotgun mics can go from like one that fits on a DSLR that you might get for $150 to $5,000 if you go to pro audio shotgun mics. Now, if you're in a situation where you're looking to just kind of set it and forget it, it just really depends on the distance you need to be away from your subject. You might be better off with a lav if it's a longer distance, just having like a wireless lav mic. So no real recommendations there. It really depends on your scenario. I would recommend a bunch of different ones depending on what you're doing.
What is that? That like small Rode one that seems to be really popular with Mevo users.
This one.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yep. So this is the Video Mic Go. This one actually is I think it's it's a TRS connection, which then goes to a stereo connection. So with this one, I believe you have to change a setting on the Mevo to mono, which is weird. Like it's a stereo connection, but it wants a mono signal because of that line from the TRS connection. I think I'll have to double check that. I haven't used this in a while though. But yeah, you can absolutely use something like this. This one doesn't need any additional batteries. To give me an idea what it looks like without the pad on it.
Right.
That works too. I'm trying to think if this one doesn't. Yeah, this one isn't plus 48. So yeah, but like again, this would be the like lowest common denominator shotgun mic. I wouldn't use this for anything over this type of distance. Considering,
Right.
Even like right, like say it's like right here, right above the frame, is where you want that for the best results. Because any further than that, you're going to be picking up a lot of the room, and it's not going to be as direct.
Yeah, I just remember that being like a topic of many tickets.
Yeah. Back
in ticket times.
Looks like we kind of skipped over some questions here.
Did we?
221. We went from Christopher. 223.
I'm still at 13. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I haven't quite gotten there yet.
You know what? In Melon, this is something interesting for those who are trying out Melon. I haven't noticed this, but So on my comments, because I did a refresh, because I guess my screen might have been frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes 206, 207, 221, 223, 204, 205, and then kicks back into like normal. So I guess maybe
Nice.
it popped in the 2 comments post my refresh. It populated them higher on the list after I refreshed, which is interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of melon, though, I am curious. Has anybody else tried melon since we've started using it? I know we've talked a decent amount about it and how much we really like it. So I'm curious if anybody's kind of jumped in and checked it out. Let
Yeah,
us
me
know.
too.
Um. So it looks like is this the same person who was asking earlier about this? So if you have spotty internet connection, obviously if you're using multicam, kind of the easiest and best way to go is just using the Mevo. So it's built in, easy, and free.
Absolutely.
What's up? What's up? So far, so good, but it is only Tuesday, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Anything on the roadmap to having the USB-C port allow more functionality than just power and Ethernet? Like we want to have an audio push through as well. Hmm. Unfortunately, no. It's just a limit with the hardware. So it's not really something that we can add more functionality to. Otherwise, we'd love to do USB-C to HDMI or something like that, but unfortunately, we just can't force it to do these kinds of things.
Now, when they're saying audio push through as well, I guess they're meaning like an output, like audio output.
I
Because
would
input
assume
you could
so.
put, yeah, because you can plug in like a Blue Yeti, like something like this, directly into the
Right.
Mevo and use USB audio with it. Or you can even do an interface that has USB audio. You can plug directly into the Mevo. You can go in through USB. You just can't go out.
Right. Have any input? 5-volt USB powered router. Don't like my MiFi to handle the local traffic. Um.
I mean, I guess it depends on the router, right? This is like similar to what
Yeah.
you did with the Orbi, right?
Right. Yeah. It really depends on the kind of setup that you're using. And like the specific router. Yeah. You're right. But typically, I would say you're probably better off using a router than a MiFi.
Yeah.
It's a good audio question for you.
Okay, so Bobby's saying, let's see, how do you get mics to work with a 3.5 millimeter connection? I stream from a local government managed, local manage it and have hard no luck. I sit far from the podium and I use a wireless mic is my only option for good sound. Okay. Uh, I'm not sure why you're having no luck. Chances are you're just not using the right connection or plugging something into the something in wrong. So let's go over it. If you're in a podium scenario where you have um a PA system, right? So that's telling me that you have a mixer. What I would do is take the output from your stereo headphone output from your mixer and go direct into the Mevo using the 3.5 jack from there. And the reason why is because now whatever is coming through the house will be directed towards the Mevo, and you can adjust whatever settings you need to adjust as far as like your input gain, your EQ, or anything like that. Now, if you don't have a mixing board and you're using, I mean, I'd have to see what kind of mic you're using. Wireless is definitely a good option, especially if you have someone at the podium and the Mevo is further away. You could use the wireless, the remote mic app through the Mevo using a cell phone. So, for example, you can have, where's my phone? You can have this be your mic source. You can have this just sit up at the podium and go directly to the Mevo. But give us a little more information as far as your signal chain. Um, do you have a mixer set up? If not, you should if you're using a PA, and then you can go from there. Question.
Let's see. Dave is following up, saying his, I think it was Facebook stream is ending early, and he's using multicam, and it's been happening several weeks in a row. So I think the best thing to do would be to open up a ticket and get one-on-one help, and you can do that on help.mevo.com. You know, I would be sure to tell them, like, is it happening immediately? Is it happening every single time? Does it happen if you stream to Facebook via RTMP? And if you can provide a video of it happening, it'll help them diagnose it even faster. So hopefully that will get resolved for you soon. Christopher says you can create a 4x3 overlay graphic to help keep the subject in frame. Yeah, if you want a really easy way to crop it out.
Yeah, Chris, that's a great call. So what he's saying, for those that don't really get what he's saying there, is we had a question earlier about how to get that 4:3 aspect ratio, or I guess portrait aspect ratio. And we showed a couple different ways you could do it, but creating an overlay is a great way to do it. So essentially creating an overlay that goes over the screen that only cuts out that section that you want to show. So this way, when you do post a full video, you could post it at full quality, and then it'll be zoomed into the right aspect ratio. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I actually did that, not for 4x3, but I did 21:9. So I did black bars at the top and bottom of my streams, to kind of make it look like I had a nicer camera than I had.
A cinematic
So,
look.
yeah, exactly. What's up, Dave? Good afternoon. Um, oh, my chat just went back in time. Okay.
I'm at 219.
Nice. So it actually looks like, yeah, I'll jump down to 219. When is Facebook not having some kind of issue? Not
Great
often.
question.
So yeah, that is a great question. Let's see. Yeah, RTMP has been working, so it is API related. That's something that Joe noticed as well this weekend. Right. Stuart says we use our Mevo Plus in wireless webcam mode as a second camera in StreamYard on our Windows PC for our church services. Cool. Nice. Excellent. And although our main camera is a Huddle Cam PTZ, I don't know that one. With 20 times optical zoom, the Mevo's digital PTZ is much smoother. Yeah, the problem with physical PTZ is you have to have a camera that has a good motor. And also, if your camera has a motor that's not like smooth or silent, then you also have the issue of it possibly being noisy when it does move. So, digital PTZ is very, very nice.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, my timeline jumping around all over the place too.
Yeah. Let's see. Any rough time frame for an update to the multicam app? Excited to see any new features. I don't think we have a timeline right now, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that the team is working on. I think they're getting really close to a release, but no specific time frame right now.
Yeah, there's two major factors that they've been working on that are pretty huge. And
Yeah,
I just want them to nail it.
same, man. Same. Laser Less, what is up, man? Nice. Tribe of Benjamin is in fact Ben Beckner. Nice. I'm glad that you moved over to Twitch. Thanks for letting us know too. It's gonna be funny if you guys all learn our real names on Twitch. Yeah, and also great. So I'm happy to relearn it as long as you're moving over to a better network than Facebook. Gordon says looking at Facebook and Twitch side by side, but don't see much of a difference. Facebook is limited to 720.
It's not.
Facebook has been pretty inconsistent about that, right? Like, is it now 1080?
Well, no, It depends on where you're coming from. So right now, coming out of Melon, you could do 1080. When
Yeah.
we were going out of Restream, we could do 1080. When we were using Vimeo, we can only do 720. When you're going directly from the Mevo, you can do 1080. So I think Vimeo is the only limitation that I recognize.
Yeah. Well, I noticed the colors are definitely different on each destination. And Facebook, the bitrate can't go as high, which is why we like Twitch and YouTube so much more because you can have a much higher bitrate, which oftentimes results in a better looking stream.
For sure.
And we just like the chat, right? Like the chat is better. You can do more things with the chat. Um,
Yeah.
More
And
dynamic.
the Twitch chats can really evolve. Like right now we're at the basic level of Twitch chat, but once you start building a Twitch page and building a Twitch chat, the community has so many cool like benefits and little like perks that you get when you use it, which is really cool.
Yeah, we'll be able to do like dynamic polling and other really cool things within the stream. So definitely move over to Twitch. Twitch has a little bit more clarity, says Laserless.
Yeah, I would imagine the audio is better on Twitch too.
Pastor Ben Beckner. Nice. That's even better. All right, Dave has another issue. Issue number 2 is I'm having problems using Mevo for Zoom. It won't work. I downloaded NDI drivers and they didn't work. I'm using a Lenovo laptop and my iPad. So, if you're using NDI, then you have to make sure that you have the NDI tools installed. And if you're using NDI for Zoom, you want to have the NDI webcam input program open and your Mevo is selected. So make sure your Mevo is on the same network and is visible by the webcam input application. And that you also have your Mevo connected in the application before opening Zoom.
Yes. So follow the signal path on that, right? You're going from your camera, which is sending an NDI signal to your computer. So NDI on your computer has to find and pick up that signal first. And then once that signal is there, you could do it in your NDI monitor as long as it's selected. And you can do. Is it still virtual on
I don't
Macs?
know. They changed it for Max than they did for it's virtual input
Yeah,
still, yeah.
virtual. So it's virtual input on Macs. On PC, it's webcam input. So make sure that Mevo is selected there, and then like Will said in Zoom, have all that stuff already set before you even open Zoom, and then and then Zoom will go to the virtual input looking for the NDI signal. Now, if you're doing, I mean, you can get to Zoom other ways, right? You can use wired webcam, you can use wireless webcam. They both can go into Zoom
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a lot of people tend to think that as long as their Mevo is in NDI mode, it should show up. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Okay.
A couple of good questions here coming up.
I like the fact that Twitch doesn't stop the stream if a copyright is in violation. Yeah, that is nice. Although it depends on the copyright violation. If it is a video copyright, then it will shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Gordon
Nice. We were
saying
actually
so.
just talking about this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Laserless says if I'm gonna store my Mevo for about a month or two, what should I just keep it plugged in? Will it drain to 0? Yeah, I would definitely keep it plugged in. Although it depends, if you're gonna need it right away whenever you use it next. Um, if you're gonna wanna use it right after, it's been sitting for a month or two, you might want to keep it plugged in. But if you don't mind waiting like 6 hours or something like that for a full charge, you can unplug it. But yeah, it will drain for sure. And this
Yeah.
is actually something that the team was just talking about in Slack. So this might be changed or improved in the future. But yeah, right now, what happens is there's an onboard chip that allows you to do the power on via USB function, and unfortunately, that chip uses a tiny bit of power, so we'll drain it to 0.
Yeah. But if you're not worried about charging it and then obviously updating it after 2 months,
Right,
because you're probably gonna need an update, then I don't know if it's, I don't know if you necessarily have to have it plugged in for 2 months, you know? But if you're
right.
gonna wanna pull it out of the box and use it immediately, then yeah, you're gonna want it to have some power.
I see there's a little bit of follow-up on whether it's harder on the battery. I don't think that either one is gonna be too hard on the battery. I have Mevos that are plugged in and turned on 24/7 for, like, the past year, basically. So, you're good to go for 2 months for sure.
Yep.
I was telling him this the other day. I was telling that to, Joseph the other day.
Thanks,
Joe
Joe, I
says,
appreciate it.
he likes that angle.
I mean, I'm taking a page out of his book. I liked his setup as well with that side angle, that profile a little bit.
Yep.
Thanks, bud.
Uh Old question, but gotta ask. Yeah, I mean, this has to be asked at least once a show for sure. When can we add video files from multicam or to multicam? I'm sure. Um, yeah, hopefully soon. It's on our coming soon page. It's definitely something we're working on, but no timeline right now.
Yeah, because that's gonna open up a can of worms too, as far as, like, video files, and because do you pull them off the SD card in the Mevo? Do you pull them off the device library? Do
Right,
you pull them from a drive, from G drive or something like that? Do you pull them? Can you pull a link and then play like a YouTube video live on a video on a stream, right? So there's
right.
so many different things you could do. It's just a matter of managing that and getting all that hammered out, really.
Yeah, I also wonder if there's going to be any sort of like limit for the time length of the video.
And quality,
Like, yeah, for
right?
sure.
Just size in general, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Kurt says I stream my daughter's volleyball games and really struggle streaming to YouTube from some venues. I use a MiFi jetpack. Is this where you would suggest trying the Mevo hotspot? Um,
Uh,
it really varies per venue. Obviously, if the venue you're at, you just don't have much cell service, like you have, like one bar and it's not very good. Um, then that's obviously one problem. If your stream is you just don't have fast enough internet connection at that spot, then that's a different problem. Um, and if you're not getting like the range between Mevo and your phone or tablet, that's a different problem. So you have to give us kind of a little bit more information on that. Um, and yeah, I think also, yeah, I don't know if most MiFis are 4G or 5G at this point, but yeah, let us know if it's
it
4G or
doesn't even
5G.
matter because it just depends on how close you are to the towers and what type of tower strength is in that area. So, like, let's say you're using a Verizon jetpack or something like that. If you don't
Mhm.
have good Verizon signal, or if they're throttling in that area, you're going to feel those
Right,
effects, right? So you might be limited to a certain amount of upload speed based on what's available for their network. Um,
right.
that's why using LTE, like, you really have to be sure that you're doing all the testing, doing all your speed testing. Make sure you're not, make sure you have good connection. Most venues, depending on the venue, if it's volleyball, I'm guessing it's a gym. There's going to be big open areas, big brick walls. Those are going to hinder cell service as well. If you can get wired into their local network, depending on the venue you're at, talk to the IT guys or the admins of those venues. That might help too.
Yeah, for sure. Um, let's see. Lots of back and forth conversation, which we love to see. Um, I have my audio coming from a Rode wireless mic receiver directly into the Mevo. The local government will not allow me to connect to their system. I can't control the shots from my mic shots if my mic is at the podium.
Copy that.
Let's see.
So why, yeah, so this was Bobby was talking about the system before where he was trying to figure out how to get the best audio to the Mevo. So I mean, I think then what you're doing already with a wireless connection is the way to go. There's really no way around it. If they won't let you access their system and the camera's too far away to actually run a cable. I mean, you can always just get a longer cable. But in that instance, there's a million different ways you can go. Like you can get a mic hooked into like a small interface, like the Scarlett 2i2, and run that to the Mevo through USB or through the 3.5 as well. But at least you have your own little gain control, and you can have a little bit more control over what the mic is doing, rather than just having a raw mic into the Mevo. But the remote mic app on the cell phone works great. Because you can just hook up a little lav microphone to the speaker and have that set up, or just a wireless lav set might be the best bet for you in that case.
Cool. Blake says, when will the Mevo app support 3-camera split screen? Probably. I assume you're talking about the multicam app. And I don't believe that there are any plans on having 3 cameras on the screen at once. I think that we have discussed, and I think it is on the coming soon page as well, picture in picture, but that is only 2 cameras. So it's certainly something that we can mention to the developers to have 3 cameras split screen, but it probably won't be happening anytime soon, at least. I have a Mevo that is not working in webcam mode right now. Wired webcam, just a black screen, but everything else works. Anything else I should try?
Is the Mevo being recognized in the software? And if so, and it's just a black screen, you may just want to reboot things. Reboot the Mevo, reboot your computer with the Mevo plugged in.
Yeah, maybe try turning webcam mode on and off, and see if it shows up in any other programs also. Cool. Lots of talk about batteries. I'm using 3 of the $49 PTZ with the remotes. The Mevo starts are on the camera mount screws. So I think you're talking about those, the ones that were mentioned in the Facebook group, where you can just mount the Mevo on that stand and then
Oh, and
control
it
it.
moves. Yeah,
Yeah,
control the stand. I mean, it's a
kind of
cool
like a
idea.
Pivo. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That actually just kind of, I wonder if it's as smooth. We were just talking about that other PTZ camera, and it's just like not a smooth tilting process. So I'm curious if that $49 PTZ is any better.
I mean, you're not going to be able to compete with like a manual move in software, or I mean,
Right.
or like a static shot to
Digital
static
move.
shot gesture, right? Because it's going to be perfect. So
That is true.
yeah, Snowman.
Nice. I feel like I watched this stream recently.
Really?
Yeah. Cool. Welcome to the show. Been torture testing our Mevo Start for our YouTube live stream. We use it as a handheld remote cam, and we also mount it outside the truck to get exterior shots. Very impressed with the results. Awesome. Love to hear that. You should definitely share your stream with the Mevo Facebook group and let us know. I'd love to check it out again.
Yeah,
But
post a
yeah,
link somewhere, even if it's in the comments, we'll find it.
um, yeah, I felt like I randomly bumped into that stream the other day. I might have been going through our testers. I don't know, but I
Hmm.
definitely found that stream. Speaking of,
Well,
should we just pull
speaking
that up real
of,
quick? Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a great time to talk about it. We're almost done with the show today. Got to remove the
Yeah.
question though.
Of course. let's see. So as I'm doing that, you want to go over what it's all about?
Absolutely. So as Will works his way through Melon to because it's on a completely separate menu. On the right, if you click the chat,
Yeah.
you should be able to do it. Um,
Gotcha.
Cool. So what we're talking about here, everyone, is to become a user tester for Logitech. So our team is actually running the user tester for our group. So this is going to be unreleased products, different new packaging, software and firmware updates that are unreleased. And if you're someone who is doing streaming and you're someone who wants to be involved in the latest and greatest in the streaming and creators world that Logitech has to offer, follow this link and you can go and sign up to be a user tester. So you should be able to find this link in the description on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. I'm not sure if it pops up on Twitch just yet. I think we're working on that. But you can copy it here. If you want to pause the video and copy it from here, or if you want to click the link, again, YouTube and Facebook. And we'll be posting this on all of our shows. So if you want to join our testing program, please sign up.
Cool. Yeah, I think we've gotten a fair amount of testers from these Mevo Live announcements. So
Yeah,
definitely join up. We would love to hear a lot of your inputs, so we can make these really awesome Logitech products. Cool. All right.
all right.
Now I've lost my chat position.
No worries. I'm around 245 is where we're catching up. Um,
So
just
Pastor Ben Beckner says, "Did you get your new in-ear headphones? What do you think?" I did finally. Now I feel less left out. And I like them a lot. They're really cool. They're super loud. So like I have to put everything like 50% lower than I'm used to, which is really nice because I like
yep.
it when it's really loud. But yeah, so far it's been pretty great. The very first thing that I did when I got them was watch the last scene of Avengers Endgame. Just to
That's my test for everything.
completely test it out. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, which sounded amazing. So I
yeah.
highly recommend them.
That was my TV test a couple of weeks ago, or I guess months ago now. I won a TV at an event. So when
Hmm.
I got the TV back, the first thing I put on was the last fight scene of Endgame. I was like, let's test this thing out.
It's a great test because they're using all like the latest and greatest technology.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right. I do have a lot of cool instruments. A lot of the instruments I have are cheap though, because money. But yeah, that's a Fender. That's actually a Squire right there. It's not a Strat. Squire. Strat's over there. And then I have a Ibanez over here, which you can't see, and a checked over there. I probably got like 7 or 8 guitars floating around this room.
It's a nice background though, no matter what.
It's a fun, it's a nice atmosphere to be in. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Ooh, big
So
one.
you got a ton of headphones lined up. Yeah. Have a couple of questions. I only have one Mevo. I am planning on using it to pre-record my video podcast with two guests. My question would be, uh, what I what would be the best bit rate to get the best quality out of my Mevo? Also, I want to buy a tablet. What is the minimum requirement of RAM to use my Mevo single app? And also, why is there no video teaching us about the custom image quality button in the app? Let's see. So for your first question, the bit rate, I mean, it really depends. Like, since you're using the Mevo single camera app, you don't really have to worry about bit rate. It's set automatically. The only time that you would really need to worry about bit rate is, if you're streaming using the multicam app or you're using OBS. And tablet minimum requirement for the single camera app is, I think it's 2 GB of RAM. The multicam app requires 3 GB.
Multicam's 3. I tell people
Multicam's 3,
3.
yeah, but
I tell people 3 minimum just because that's what the minimum for most new devices anyway, and
mhm.
it just leaves you room to work with. And as far as like
for
pricing,
sure.
competitive pricing, like devices, there's not a huge jump between them. So if you can get at least a minimum of 3 GB of RAM, I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a good call. And it also doesn't hurt. Like even if you're using the one Mevo with the Mevo single camera app, you might see some benefits in the multi-camera app with one Mevo. So it doesn't hurt for sure. Also, why is
Uh,
there no video teaching about custom image quality button? I don't
there
know
is.
about that button.
No, the
Custom
image
image
quality
quality?
changes on the Mevos? It's
Talking about the
absolutely.
IQ, like the
Like
image
you can't.
adjustments. Is that what
Yeah,
he's talking about?
image adjustments. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there should be not only a video about it, but also I think we've done live shows about it as well.
Well, I for sure have. I know we have. But a couple of things I want to talk about with this post too. So we did mention
Yeah.
a couple of things. If you're using the Mevo to record the podcast, like you said, you want to pre-record it. So he might be also referring to
Oh,
what bitrate you can record in. So at that
got it.
point, you're going to want to record in the highest bitrate possible. So if you go into your Mevo app, you'll see there's a recording bitrate there. It'll probably be set at 20 megabytes per second, which is decent enough. It goes all the way up to 50 megabytes per second. Couple of things you need to realize here, though. You have to make sure that you have a memory card that can write at those speeds at least 50 megabytes per second, which I think most memory cards can do like start at 80 now. So, but you want to make sure you have the right memory card in and make sure you have enough space because if you are recording at 50 megabytes per second, you're going to have a much larger file. It'll be a better looking file, but it'll also be a much larger file. So those are two things you want to make sure you keep in mind if you're going to pre-record video.
Cool.
And actually, you can record in HEVC if file size is an issue. You can cut that file size right in half as well.
Yeah, that I have done. That is actually a super useful feature. What's the best way to incorporate 3 Mevo cams into Ecamm Live? It
Wired
depends if you
webcam.
need them to be. Yeah, if you can have them close by, wired webcam is probably the best way to go. If you need to be further away, NDI is the way to go. And we're already running late, so we can burn through these last questions.
I didn't realize what time it was. Cruise today. Thanks for all the
Yeah.
questions, everybody.
Yeah. David says currently not showing the picture while making movement with the camera. Move, get position, then switch, all using the multicam app. I'm not sure what you're trying to say here.
Yeah.
He's saying that you're seeing the picture from the camera in the multicam app, but if you do a pan or a PTZ move, then you lose the picture. You'll have to give us a little bit more information on that one.
Yeah, I was a little confused there.
Thanks, Daryl. Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us.
Daryl.
We will be definitely back on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nice. I just want to say I'm excited about being a Logitech tester and a growing streamer on Twitch, building my Logitech knowledge. We are excited to have you as well. So thanks for signing up and looking forward to working with you. Let's see. Any plans for image stabilization on the Mevo Start? It's actually already in there. Go to image adjustments and select EIS, which is electronic image stabilization. So you can turn that on. You're good to go. But keep in mind, it's not a GoPro, so it's not quite the extreme amount of image stabilization.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. Like sometimes cameras have like the little lens will sit on a gyro, so the lens
Right.
doesn't shake. That's not how it is.
Yep. Cool. Looks like we have gone through all of the questions. All right, everybody.
Nice. Great job.
Thank you for all the questions. Thanks for joining us for another Ask Me Anything. We'll be back on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. As always, if you have any questions that weren't answered here, you can go over to help.mevo.com and open up a ticket in our help section. We'll get somebody to help you out with that ASAP. And yeah, that's it. See you
Yeah.
guys on Thursday.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.